Alright, what's up? So, I've been wanting to do this whole, YouTube thing, I guess you could say, for a little bit now. I mean, not really YouTube, it's like social media in general. I've kind of, seen other people do it, just kind of, talk about certain subjects that, people go through in life, and just their experiences, what they went through and stuff. So, I don't know, I kind of thought it'd be somewhat cool to talk about my personal life experiences, things I've, my stories. More or less kind of use a diary, as I get older. Kind of look back at this, see where my headspace was, what I was thinking. Just I don't know, kind of to reflect on things over the years, I guess you could say. But I really want to talk about first love. I feel like it'd be a good, first video, first love. Get her, ish. But yeah, I thought it'd be a cool little subject to talk about. First loves. I think everyone should experience first love. It can go good, could go bad. But I mean, personally, it showed me what to do and not to do in a relationship, and it's what to expect, and kind of what to give to the other person in a relationship. I've only been in two my whole life, so I don't really have too much backstory in relationships. I mean, I do a first love story, so if I just be oh, cool to talk about. So my first love, I guess for this video's sake, we'll just call her Jay. Me and Jay met when I was around 14 or 15. We were just cool. We were just cool. Had class together. We were just friends. But I had feelings for her a little bit. But I don't think she kind of saw me in the same way at the time. So, I mean, yeah. So that was that. We were at school, and then my junior year when I turned 16, she moved away. So I kind of we stopped talking. Really, I talked to her a few times, but not all too much. But my senior year, so I was 17. My senior year, she came back to the school that we went to, and it wasn't really anything. Just kind of say hey in the hallway sometimes. And that was it for the most part. But really, this whole first love story starts around homecoming my senior year. Damn, what happened? All right, so it all started the night before homecoming. We were at a football game. It was our homecoming football game. And nothing too much. Want some friends. It wasn't too crazy, but I rode with my friend. Let's call him Joseph. Me and Joseph were together, and Joseph, at the time, he was dating this girl's best friend. So let me think. So after the game, it was four of us. We all walked out together. It was just cool talk, nothing too much. But later at night, Joseph sends me a screenshot, and it's her, Jay asking to get put on with me. And I mean, I was kind of flirted at the time. Like I said, I haven't been in too many relationships, so, and especially this the first time a girl ever told me she wouldn't get put on, or she kind of saw me in that way. It was kind of cool. But yeah, so homecoming's the next day. We go to this place to go take pictures, and then me and her I don't think we didn't talk there. But then we went to Hibachi before we went to the homecoming dance. So went there, me and her sat together. Not gonna lie, I was nervous. Homecoming came and went. It was good. And then me and her started just talking from there. Then it all came abrupt. Literally a week later, we were at a football game. She went through our phone, and before the game, I texted some girl that like I used to have feelings for, and I guess she saw it, found out, and I mean that was that. So me and her don't talk for a little bit. We had like I guess like you said, a little brief stint in December of my senior year, but not too crazy. But then we really put together around spring break. Me and her started hanging out, you know, ended up getting together. So we made it official, boyfriend and girlfriend. This was my first ever serious relationship, I guess you could say. But yeah, so we got together. The first month of it was pretty smooth, like nothing to complain about. But then out of nowhere, she became distant. And you know, I asked her, I was like, "Hey, is everything okay? Are you okay? Is anything wrong?" Blah blah blah. And she would tell me everything's fine. So I went along with it. But what happened next? Oh, but the thing was, like outside, like when she interacted with me, it was kind of she like looked so sad, depressed, like out of it whenever she talked to me. But literally around anyone else besides me, she seemed like literally like the happiest person in the world. So I was confused on like what was going on. So you know, this happens for like a week or so. And then she tells me, "Hey, I think we need to take a break." So I was fine with it. It was a pretty like big relief at the time. But then we took a break, got back together. Then after that first break, me and her started arguing like a lot more than we previously did. So we started arguing a lot, took another break. And then around the time I graduated, I think it was like 2 days after I graduated, me and her like officially broke up. She said she didn't want to be with me. I went along with it. You know, I was sad because, you know, growing up my whole life, I've always pictured like the first person I was with was gonna be like the person I have to get like grew old and died with. So I always had like that like, you know, that perfect love life story. But you know, not everyone's you know, guaranteed it in life. So I mean, yeah. But so we broke up. But that's at the end though. Me and her were still like, you know, first breakup, you guys decided to be friends. So we were cool until one day I went to a concert, and I had went to Wingstop before the concert. It was kind of like spontaneous. I didn't plan on doing it before. I drove off to the concert. But I texted her earlier, you know, that I was at the spot. It was like one of her favorite spots, I think. And she blocked me. It was like straight up simple. So I was like, dang, that's kind of crazy, you know. But I didn't think too much of it. I kind of like went along. But the next day, I had went to a pool in this apartment area, and she lived by this apartment area, like where I was at. And I went with some family, but I drove myself. So after the pool, I changed some dry clothes, and I was like, you know what, let me drive to her house to see if I can go talk to her. You know, I go talk to her, and you know, we end up, you know, doing a couple things, I guess you could say. But what happened? So I asked her after, you know, we did. I asked her, "Are we back together?" She said, "No, we're still just friends." And I kind of took that like weird, you know. You like kind of like you're doing this stuff with me, but you only see me as a friend. And you know, it kind of hurt me a little bit. But since like at the time, I thought this is a girl. Like I felt like me and her could work through this. Like I seriously thought it was gonna be me and her forever. So I decided to agree with it. We'd be just friends. And then eventually came up like a plan. Like we're gonna take a month-long break where we're just friends. After a month, we'll get back together. Like, all right, if we can work through this month without like, you know, arguing any bad things, you know, just me and her are just, you know, just fine, we'll get back together. So okay, we both agreed to it, and things are smooth. You know, we're still doing a couple things, but we're just friends, quote unquote. And it was all cool until one night. Well, okay. There's really two sides to the story, like two things to the story to our relationship, and like why we seriously broke up. The first thing was when me and her broke up the first time after my graduation. I started texting a girl, not the same girl from before, but the girl that I used to, have feelings for. And she had went through my phone, so it was like same mistake from earlier. She had went through our phone, saw me texting her. But the thing was, this time it wasn't really like as bad on me, because at the time me and her were broken up. So I mean, and it wasn't like anything. Me and her were like, the girl was texting, we were like just texting, like cool, like a cool conversation there, yeah. And it was just that. So at the time, I didn't really see anything wrong with it. But yeah, she went through it. She got mad at me, but then she kind of she accepted it. I feel like she wasn't like over it, but she kind of like accepted that it was. I really did no wrong, but she never like truly accepted it. And the second thing was me and her had a pregnancy scare. It was, I think it was around like, she was around like maybe like 2 to 3 weeks late. Like this whole time, mind you, I just graduated. I'm 17. I have no job. I'm doing DoorDash and barely making anything off that. And so I'm just broke. And so yeah, me and her had a pregnancy scare. So the whole time, like, during something like, dang, if me and her, like, what is it? I was still, I wasn't really like doing big things. I was like going to college. I was going to our local our local state college. But yeah, but I didn't have any big things going on. But I was like kind of looking at it like, dang, if we truly do have a kid, like, are we gonna get an abortion? Are we gonna keep it through? Like, what's my future gonna look like? Anyway, so yeah, so we had that, and both of us are scared. We don't want to be. We're 17. We don't want to be teen parents. But one day, me and her are hanging out. We're just laying in her bed. Then we're like both like we're just on our phones. And she rolls over and turns to me and she just goes, I took a pregnancy test. I'm pregnant. And I kind of just like, literally, I put my head into the pillow and I started crying. Like, I thought I fucked up in life. Like, my parents had me pretty young. They had me at 19, 20. I felt like I was like failing them, because they like, I don't know if it's considered a mistake, but they had me like at an age society probably usually wouldn't accept. So for me to have one younger than that, like, I felt like I was gonna be such a huge failure. It's like a bunch of emotions coming down on me at once. And yeah, I just cried. And then like after maybe like 5 minutes I was crying, and then I get up and I look over her, and she looks at me and says, "You're a selfish piece of shit." And I'm confused. I'm like, why would she call me that? That's kind of like random. And then after that, she turned over and wouldn't talk to me. I'm like touching her, like, hey, like, what's going on? What's wrong? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, just leave me alone, leave me alone. And then also at the time, I'm still 17, so I still had a curfew. My curfew was 11 o'clock every night. So it was like getting around that time. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna leave the SB and I'm gonna go home. Cool. I go home. I think I fell asleep, and I wake up to like a big long essay from her, like I really do love you, this, that, but you're really selfish. You didn't ask me how I felt about this whole pregnancy thing, blah, blah, blah. Okay, also, it was a joke. She wasn't actually pregnant. It turned out to be a joke. Like, she was like trying to see what I would do if she would actually turn out to be pregnant. But yeah, so write me a long paragraph, and then I go to her house, me and her talk it out, and then it's cool from there. But then, okay, it was weird. In that essay, she included that we should take a break in the essay, but at the time, we also still weren't together. So, it kind of like confused me a little bit in that sense. But then, after that, we were fine for like 2 days, and we had this huge argument. We blocked each other and everything, making text now. It was like spam calling each other. It was a lot. I went to her house, tried to talk to her. She wouldn't come out, and so, just left it at that. But after that, like after the big argument where she wouldn't like answer the door, that's when me and her broke up for good. Like that was the end of it. The last time I saw her after that, her family had like a baby shower she had invited me to before we broke up, like the next week. So I went to that, and that day her mom asked me to take her home because her mom was like staying after to help out like stuff after the baby shower. So I took her home, and I tried to like put my kids. I was like, I just begged. I was like, please don't leave me. Like, you're the only one I want to be with. This, that, and yeah, she still like won't take me back. So yeah, I was sad, but I mean, just went home, cried about it some more, and then next few days were rough. Thought about her a lot. We didn't talk at all. I think I called her like 3 days later, asking if like we could be just friends still, and she said she'd think about it. And then after that, so okay, there's a weird series of events that happened after we broke up that kind of caused me to lash out on her a little bit. So the first thing was, okay, so me and her have this mutual friend, let's just call her N. And N has a older brother that drives like this, I guess that's how I would say, he drives this car, and I know what the car looks like. So one day, like I said, I was DoorDasher. I was doing DoorDash. I went into her area, and like I saw a car, like I saw the car that I said I knew like what his car looked like. I saw that car parked inside the what's it called, like where I usually park that when I went to her house. And her and our mutual friend's older brother, they work together. So I call this mutual friend. I'm like, hey, are Jay and your brother, talking by chance, dating, anything, blah, blah, blah? Because, okay, I forgot to mention, when me and her broke up, she said she was taking time for herself to, like focus, because it was, so I graduated. She was, like, a junior, though. She's on her senior year. She had, like, a lot of focus on for her senior year. Just want to focus on that, and she didn't really have time for this shit. Like, the stress, like, she argued a lot. She, like, it was mentally draining to her, and she couldn't keep doing it because she felt like it would affect her senior year. So, of course, that made sense to me. So, so I ask her brother. I ask her mutual friend. She says no. My brother would never mess with her. Blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay, cool. I don't question any more than that. Then a few days later, I thought I saw our mutual friend's car like in a parking lot outside of a store. So I call her. I'm like, hey, are you outside this store? She's like, no. I'm like, all right, I'm finna and then I'm about to hang up, and she says, wait, I just want to tell you. I'm like, what's up? And she goes, okay, so turns out my brother and Jay are actually talking. She asked both of them. They said they were. And that kind of like blew me in a sense, because I kind of realized that she had lied to me, like lied about the reason she wanted to break up. And I mean, if she had told me straight up, hey, she didn't want to be with me anymore, cool. But to lie and say it was because, it was because you need to focus on yourself, and then proceed to immediately jump to a new person, that kind of, it ticked me off. Ticked me off sounds corny. Okay, it threw me off a little bit, to be real. But I didn't lash out on her after I heard that. I kind of to be real, I was upset for maybe, I think at this point, me and her broke up for maybe 2 weeks. So it hurt me for maybe 30 minutes to an hour. And then I was kind of you know what? It is what it is. I can't really do much about it. But yeah, then what was next? Oh, the next story. Oh, this is like why I actually lashed out on her. Okay, so I have this friend, like me and this girl, we've been friends for years. She's like probably one of my close friends. We'll say E. So I was talking to her randomly one night, and we were just talking, and then kind of like Jay got brought up, and I think I kind of told E about this, because when me and Jay were together, she kind of like I thought we were each other's first everything, because that's what she told me. Come to find out, we weren't. She had lied about it, and also the person like she had done it with before me. All right, so video cut out. Like I was saying, the person she had done it with before me, she claims to like have been her boy best friend at the time. And like when I asked her like, hey, did y'all ever like used to mess with each other or anything, she's like, oh no, I'd never do anything. Like she's like acted like she was disgusted. So to come find out she had lied about that, and then also claimed like that was just her friend. Made me upset. I kind of like made like a fake number, called her, texted her, like said a bunch of names, said this, said that, and then that was really the end of it. After that, I kind of like really, I'm not gonna, I reached out a few times, like apologized for what I said. Like, I'm not gonna say my actions were justified, but like, it wasn't like, I'm not gonna say it was as bad as like as it can be seen. But I apologized a few times. Me and her haven't really talked. She actually like cussed me out the club maybe a month ago. That was a pretty crazy experience. But yeah, since then haven't really talked, and yeah, that's it. But you know, well, what I learned from being with her, you know, never try and beg someone to stay with you. You should never have to like, you should know your value. My dad told me that after I broke up with her. Like I told him everything, like the whole story, like everything, and he sort of told me like I was kind of like being like a cuck, kind of, you know. I was kind of like just letting her run over me. So yeah, don't ever question your own value. Don't ever beg someone to choose you or to like be with you. Like even like in a friendship, don't beg someone to be friends with you, because you should know your own worth. You should just know your own worth. Don't ever question it. So, you know, I learned that. Man, yeah. But you know, at the end of the day, it's just life. But first love's some cool, I guess, you know. But yeah, that's it for the first video. Thanks for watching.